Hello, hello, and hello again. Should I say Happy New Year? I'm not even sure which one to say in March. But yes, this is my first broadcast this year, and it is an exciting one. Tallies with the International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day to all women out there who have been making an impact in their different sectors of life. International Women's Day, like we know, is an observance, a global observance on the 8th of March, recognizing the achievements of women and how they have contributed to the positivity in the society. Today, I've got with me a special guest. Before you go, let me show you. Can you tell me who she will be in this picture? She's here somewhere. That is my secondary school picture, Feggicolla. So I'll be interviewing one of them, and you will see who it is very soon. But before then, this year's theme is inclusion. It has to do with inspiring inclusion. International Women's Day's theme for this year, 2024, is inspiring inclusion. And that brings us to our topic for today, which is how do you cope with bedwetting in boarding school? You know, boarding school children, some of them are not grown to that age where they stop bedwetting, or they have a condition, a health condition, or whatever it is. And you know, some of them still bedwet even as teenagers, and it could erode their self-esteem. We know that already. How do we inspire inclusion of these ones? How do we help them as women in a boarding school? I went to a boarding school, and my guests today went to a boarding school as well. So without further ado, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. Who do we have today? Those who know how to say it. Tọ́pẹ́ sáré, ó ti rẹ̀ mí, ó ti rẹ̀ mí, ó dẹ̀ sáré. You are welcome. This is the one and only Tọ́pẹ́ Adu. Now, Mrs. Ajayi. So, Tọ́pẹ́ Ajayi. Nice to see you here.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Yeah. And like she told you, we went to the same secondary school. She was my senior in Feggicolla then.
Yes.
So first of all, I'll say Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. Yes. And this is the sign for this year, inspiring inclusion. Yes. So Happy International Women's Day to all women, all mothers, sisters, ladies, all girls. Happy International Women's Day to you all. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was so nice to see her around. I thought, oh, we must do this. And it just tallied, you know, all things work together for good. Just tallied with the international. I know, 32 years. We haven't seen or met. Wow, it's so inspiring. Thank you very much for spending time here. Really appreciate it. So go straight right in. Now, talking about bedwetting, I know it's a very odd topic, but it's if you were in boarding school and you knew those who were bedwetters, it wasn't, you know, some of them struggled with self-esteem and, you know, and so many things, and how to deal with it. It was just an extra burden you didn't need in a boarding school, because it was bad enough being in a boarding school. Well, when I say bad enough, I mean, so many things going on, and you have to rush for water, go for food, do your morning duties, your chores, everything. Not to add bedwetting to it. It was too much work. But this was someone who was a dorm captain, and in the course of our talking, I didn't even know that until we started, you know, talking about Feggicolla. You know, there were some very positive steps she took to help her dorm members, because she was a dorm captain in SS3. But before then, let me start with the first question. Can you share any insights or experiences you had as a dormitory captain regarding bedwetting incidents among students?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. So I think one of the very touching experience I had then was a particular day in the night. I woke up, one of the girls now that bedwets in my room. Then I just noticed she woke up after bedwetting. I saw her crying, and then she was, you know, folding her clothes, the bed sheet, quickly packing them, and I just saw her crying there. She was laying, another bed sheet. So I felt touched. And she didn't know I was watching her really. It was in the night. I just woke up and I saw her. I really felt sorry for her because I knew that definitely it's not something she's happy about. So, and that really touched me. So I took some important decision that very day.
Wow. So empathy, having compassion. Mommy Gio, thank you. I need to. So okay, so that says something. That says something. So because not everyone had that in school. People were just mind your own business, face your lane, be on your lane, let me do my thing, and the ones that will want to intrude and punish you and all that as seniors.
Some of them are being punished. Sometimes they even ask them to put their mattress on their head, put them on the courtyard, public shame. People look at them, make them look so inferior and all those stuff like that. So it wasn't really a good experience for many of them, I'm sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. So how did you approach and handle situations involving bedwetting in the dormitory during your time as a captain?
Okay, so one important thing I did was, like I told you the other time, I now took the decision that I'll be waking them up. So, and how do I do that? So when I want to go to bed, I'll take a lot of water. So of course I'll get up to go to the toilet myself. So anytime I get up, I go around, wake them up one by one, as in I take them one after the other to the toilet. So I wake them up and they use the toilet. So I do that. Sometimes I wake them up like 2 or 3 times, and it helped some of them. But of course some of them will still. But that was the decision I took.
Wow.
That was when I took.
Compassion is in the DNA sometimes. See, even as a child herself. See, so there's no excuse, as children, some people say, oh, that was when you were a child, you didn't know what you were doing. But even as a child, we still had brains, for someone to go out of her way to say, well, this child is suffering or these people are suffering, I want to help her. It is mind-blowing, if you ask me. It is mind-blowing. So you've talked about the strategies you took, about you even as a child yourself, as a teenager yourself, you wanted to help other teenagers. You drank water so you could wake up in the night and also help other people wake up to go to toilet. Now, did you notice any patterns or common factors contributing to bedwetting incidents among students, and how did you address them?
Okay, so I think what I'll say basically is that some of them really have this deep sleep. Because I remember one of them, there was this particular day I was even taking her to the toilet and she was still sleeping. She was still sleeping. In fact, she hit her head on the wall while I was taking her to the toilet, and I just heard, and then I saw the person still sleeping. I shouted her name, like, are you still sleeping? So some of them, they really have this deep sleep. Well, what contributes to that, I don't know. It could be out of maybe the fatigue for the day, activities they are involved in boarding school. It's not as if you really have time to play rough and all those stuff like that, but sometimes you can be tired out of the workload, and stuff like that. And then maybe some of them, I wouldn't know, maybe it could be a condition, I wouldn't know, I can't say of a certain. But all I know is that as a young girl, I just thought this was what I could do to help them. With their own self-esteem.
Yeah.
So as a dorm captain at that time, another thing I did was I made sure they were close to me, so they could come around. Because we were GSS2 students, I was in SS3. So they could come around to my bed, sit around me, talk to me, tell me their challenges. So I made sure they had that freedom of expression.
Yeah.
They were free to talk to me. I gave them that room. It wasn't a senior junior relationship. No, it was more like a friend to friend relationship. So that was one thing I cultivated with every one of them in my room at that time.
Where did you get that from?
Well, maybe it could be.
Well, when you give your heart to the Lord, that's what God transforms.
I'll say the other thing I also do is that actually, some of them, the funniest thing, because of that relationship I have with them, when they have nightmares, they wake up and you see them running to my bed. Talking, I had this dream, please, can you pray for me? So I think I'll say basically my background as a church girl, like I always say.
Yeah.
So I think that helped me.
Yeah. So I'll take this picture out and look at that. Where can you spot her? Yes, if you can spot her, just tell me. I'm sure you can see the face. You can compare the face. Where is she in this picture? And for those who are still there, Yejide was Fumi Layo now. I interviewed her once too. She was also a drum captain in our set. So yeah, nice. Wow, it's so I just love this kind of communication where you just about how it was in Feggicolla and so many struggles with because you were talking of fatigue. Yes, even in secondary school you were stressed. I mean, boarding school especially, even though you didn't need to go home to, you were in that place, you had to rush for water. Well, in my time, maybe in the junior time, I rush for water. Hey, even some will even give you their own buckets to get. So you'll be carrying 2 buckets, for someone else. You have to rush, be a good time manager. When it's time for food, you go. If not, hey, you will hear consume no food for the day. And you end up taking conflicts. That's if you still have your provision. If you still have your provision, if you haven't finished it in the last 2 weeks. What else? So many things. You have lectures, well, not lectures, they call it classes. You had to read for tests and all of those. Sometimes you have to do punishment, you have to do your chores. Some who cut grass. Like all of you, hey, to the courtyard, go and fly your arms. Go and do this. So all of those things eat into your time. So why would there not be fatigue? Ask me. But she noticed that people needed help and she was helpful. And that is inspiring inclusion. If you ask me, what else is inspiring inclusion? People who are not included in a kind of a group because of one thing or the other, conditions or whatever, how do you include them? And that is one way of including, being compassionate, having empathy. So because of our time, I said we're going to stick to this year. I'm born again now. I want to make it short. Yes. So in your let me ask this one. Did you collaborate? No. Were there any specific policies or protocols in place for dealing with bedwetting, and how did you enforce or adapt them as needed?
No, as at then in my school there was no policy.
No
protocol, nothing.
They were all on their own. There was nothing. I never heard of anything for bedwetters, maybe a council or anything. Nothing. No policies. I don't know if they have now. Those of you who have children in boarding school, are there policies on bedwetting? I know then they used to say bring Macintosh if you're that's what I knew of Macintosh was. Apart from that, there was nothing else. So did you collaborate with other people to address the bedwetting issues?
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
I think I just focused on those in my house. Yeah. Then we had 2 rooms for each house. I was in a red house then, so 2 rooms. So I just focused on those in my house, really. Yeah,
so it was not a school thing, it was not a policy, it was just a personal thing. And we can all be personal with our interaction with other people, and it can make a difference. And that's why we're celebrating. So I celebrate you today for inspiring. Because when I heard that, I thought, no, we have to do a video on this, because there are people who want to hear this. And teaching our children. So kudos to mommy. And hey, we were in Festac together. She was in school 4, I was in school 10, 512 Road Primary School then in Festac. So it's been a long journey. Her mom was a teacher in that in school 4. Yes, we used to wear the green check, green and white check. I wish I had any picture of that. I don't. Anyway, so looking back, what advice would you give to the current dormitory captains or staff members in handling bedwetting incidents compassionately and effectively, especially now we're talking about inspiring inclusion?
Okay, so I don't have too many things to say. I'll just say, please show empathy, and in whatever way you can help, please help. that was the way I felt I could help at that time.
Yeah.
That was that's the little knowledge I had. So, and I did that in my own way. So in whatever way you can do it, if it has to do you waking them up, they can even be your classmates. Incidentally, my son had same experience when he was in the boarding school, to in secondary school. He complained that some of his roommates used to bedwet. So sometimes what he did then was that he would run because the smell was, wasn't something he could tolerate. So I told him that that was not the approach to it. I told him that what he should do is to help those people. Of course, I spoke with they call them boarding parents now. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
So I
School
spoke with
mother,
the
school father.
So I told them that this was the issue, and that so they were like, okay, what they are planning to do is to put those children in a separate dormitory. I told them no, that can never be the best approach to it. Even though my son is complaining, for me, I won't say you should put all of them in a setting, because what you're going to do is that you're just going to erode everything that is called self-esteem in them. That I will encourage that they should find a way of waking them up. Is it that you wake them up? In fact, that's very important. And then make sure they eat on time. You can encourage them to take less water when they want to go to bed, and just talk to them. Because sometimes when you talk to these children, you'll be surprised that they will just,
They didn't know
they
any
don't really
better.
know what to do by themselves. They'll take responsibility to see that, okay, this thing, I don't want to do it again. And you'll be surprised how far they will go. So that was the advice I gave at that time when my son was in secondary school, because my son went to boarding school too. So I encouraged him and I told him I even told the child I don't want to talk to any parent, because I know what I went to boarding school and I know what it means to those children, that I'll not be a party to that. So I told my son, wake that person up. Wake the person, take it as a responsibility to wake the person, not be running away from it.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah. Thank you very much. When we inspire inclusion, it helps those, well, victims, I'll say. It helps to, make them be who they are meant to be, because some of them will hide away. Some of them they are meant to shine, but their lights are being covered because of that stigma. It's a stigma to them. It's like we said, it erodes their self-esteem. They don't see themselves as important. They tend to just hide away, and they could actually be very good instruments to fulfill purpose. So thank you very much for doing this. And please write in the comments. If there's nothing else you want to write in, just write in the comments. Say thank you for giving her this kimono. She sent me this, so she gave me this. So I'm so proud of it. Thank you very much. You can see we're wearing our coat.
Yeah.
So please say thank you to her for me. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for finding time to be here. I know you have to rush out now, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you too for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah. So talk pesare.
Of course, I remember those days.
All right. See you later. And I hope to see some Feggicolla girls soon. And will you be the next one to interview? Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.